Hello Bloomington, I'm Mayor Tim Busse, and this is the Council Minute for the week of August 1st. I hope everyone had a great time at National Night Out on Tuesday evening. I know that I did. Once again this year, there were more than 300 neighborhood parties across Bloomington, and members of the Bloomington Police or Fire Department got to all of them. I had the pleasure of visiting 5 different parties along with Police Chief Booker Hodges. Every neighborhood that registered was entered into a drawing for free food catered from our good friends at Fong's. The lucky winners this year were on College Heights Circle, and as a special part of that party, David and Ed Fong met us there. In appreciation for the outstanding relationship the Fong family has had with Bloomington public safety providers for more than 60 years, David and Ed presented a financial donation of $3,200 to both the Bloomington Police and the Bloomington Fire Departments. A total of $6,400 for the 64 years that Fong's has been in business here in Bloomington. It was a really cool addition to a great night. Thank you so very much to David and Ed and the entire Fong's family for your generosity and for your support of Bloomington throughout the years. And thank you to everyone who participated in National Night Out, from our residents to our public safety personnel to city staff and our elected officials. It was hot, but it was a great time. On Monday, July 25th, Councilmember Sean Nelson and I ventured south of the river to speak at a public hearing of the Burnsville Planning Commission. We went to voice Bloomington's strong opposition to the expansion of the Burnsville Landfill. This has been an ongoing issue for some time now, and I suspect you've heard at least some rumblings about this. There is currently an application working through the city of Burnsville to significantly expand the Burnsville Landfill, which is just to the south of Bloomington in the Minnesota River Valley. Bloomington is formally and officially on the record saying this is a bad idea, for all kinds of reasons, including waste composition, water and air quality, wetland removal, environmental justice, odor, noise, and the lack of public input. I provided examples for the Planning Commission. First, the environmental impact statement says that the water table around the landfill is already interacting with waste during times of flooding along the Minnesota River. There are legitimate concerns that the waste will harm groundwater, the Minnesota River, and potentially the aquifer. Also, the current proposal would allow additional trash to be placed on top of existing sections of the landfill that are unlined. And the environmental impact statement correctly points out that this would be a problem. If there was ever an issue with contamination, having a mountain of additional waste on top of existing waste will greatly increase the cost of dealing with that problem. Now, it's true that modern technology and engineering could probably help address any problems that might arise. But rather than creating the potential for a problem and then paying a lot of money to fix it, I think it would be better to avoid the issue in the first place. And the biggest issue is indeed the biggest issue that I know has caught the attention of many people here in Bloomington. The expanded landfill would rise to 1,082 feet above sea level. That's 372 feet above the surrounding grade and 389 feet above the Minnesota River. Now, for context, the highest point in Bloomington is Mount Gilboa at the Highland Ski and Snowboard area. It reaches a height of 1,020 feet above sea level. The peak of the proposed landfill will be 62 feet above the peak of Mount Gilboa. The landfill will be so large there would need to be red blinking lights on top to reduce the chance of planes crashing into it. If approved, the landfill could ultimately expand to 45 million cubic yards. It's safe to say that a landfill of that size would become the dominant visual feature of Burnsville and of the Minnesota River Valley. The Burnsville Planning Commission took public testimony and then tabled their discussion and a vote until August 8th. If approved, it will go to the Burnsville City Council for a final decision. Now, I told the chair of the Planning Commission I fully realize this is a big decision, and it's part of what should be a community-wide discussion of what to do with our trash, or more importantly, how to reduce the amount of trash that we all produce. The elected and appointed leaders in Burnsville have a difficult decision to make, and I want to be clear. This may be a point of disagreement between our cities, but it's not a point of conflict. We in Bloomington have made our position very clear, and I'll certainly keep you updated as things move forward. Finally today, the website livability.com recently ranked Bloomington number 36 on their list of the top 100 places to live in the United States. Now, considering they evaluated more than 2,000 cities from across the country and focused this year on mid-sized cities of less than 500,000 people, number 36 is pretty good. This is the 9th year that Livability has done a Top 100 Best Places to Live ranking. And every year they use data from a variety of sources, including the Census Bureau, the U.S. Departments of Housing and Urban Development and Education, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid, and even the United States Golf Association. They pull all that data together, put it into an algorithm, and ultimately create a score based on more than 50 data points, and they group them into 8 categories like amenities, housing, and social and civic capital. Bloomington scored 631 points, which put us at number 36, right between Boise, Idaho, and Downers Grove, Illinois. It's interesting that the rankings were influenced by a study that livability.com did of more than 1,000 adults from across the country. In the survey, they asked very specifically what characteristics of livability are most highly valued and which factors would be most heavily considered if someone was choosing to relocate. The results really weren't surprising. Their research showed that a good city needs a strong foundation and a level playing field for everyone. That means cities need to provide residents with access to affordable housing, quality health care, low crime rates, and a welcoming culture. Quality of life needs like reputable schools, good infrastructure, and economic growth were also rated highly. And cities in the top 100 differentiate themselves from thousands of others by the quality of their amenities. Things like parks, the arts, community event, or libraries. Sounds like what we're focusing on here in Bloomington. Be sure to check out their website for a full rundown of what they had to say about Bloomington, but here's a sampler. Bloomington is a growing city with a collection of enviable amenities. It boasts return-worthy restaurants, a growing art scene, and fun attractions like the gorgeous Japanese gardens. Plus, the city is committed to being a diverse and inclusive place to live, with a full-time racial equity coordinator on staff, which is part of the reason that Bloomington is one of the best places to live in the U.S. When it comes to jobs, the city is home to several familiar favorites. Companies like International Dairy Queen, the Toro Company, Ceridian, and Health Partners are all headquartered here. Also a perk? Take part in everything from hiking and biking to downhill skiing and fishing at Highland Lake Park Reserve. A true scenic oasis with prairies and a lake. I couldn't have said it better myself. That's a wrap on this week's Council Minute. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, stay safe, Bloomington.